Yo, what's up, man? Happy holidays to everybody, man. All the fans, all the subscribers. Shout out to the squad. It's New Year's Eve. So I know people are, with the fam, trying to just do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to bring in the new year, getting all the aspirations together. So you can see I'm not as hyped as I normally would be, but I just wanted to bring something quick to y'all for this college football episode because I'm about to do the same, try to spend some time with the fam and all of that as well. So happy holidays once again to everybody out there, man. For y'all who can catch this video, I appreciate it. I'm gonna be by myself today. It's your boy Boom Bam. Just be going for the Gusto podcast, baby, and I'm gonna try something a little new today. I decided that I'll get on here and talk about my thoughts on all the bowl games that happened over the past week because we had a bunch of games. It's a couple, and the bigger games that's coming on today, and I'll probably even touch on the ones in the future. So what I'm gonna go ahead and try to do is share my screen so I can just kind of roll through all the games, and some of the ones are kind of smaller games. If I have an opinion, if I saw anything about it, I'll speak on it. But for the most part, it'll be majority like the bigger games that people were kind of anticipating and how those games kind of played out. So let me go ahead and start off by doing that. All right, y'all. So my screen should be sharing right now. I haven't really done this before, so y'all let me know in the comments how the quality turned out. I'm definitely gonna working on getting better quality and everything for all the videos. So starting from Friday, December 30th, that's just how NCAA has it broken down. The first big game we can kind of touch on is Notre Dame and South Carolina. I caught the first half of this game. South Carolina was playing good. Spencer Rattler still had a great game in my opinion. South Carolina just couldn't get stops down the wire. They did good in the first half, actually creating turnovers and everything against Notre Dame. But down the stretch, man, Notre Dame, they kept fighting back. They kept pushing on through. I think coming in the next season, Notre Dame is going to be a way better team. Also, I think South Carolina is going to get some pretty good recruits in the grand scheme of it. But I think Notre Dame is going to be a lot more scarier team going into the next season. So that's another one to kind of, pay attention to. So Maryland and NC State was more of a defensive game than I think anybody kind of anticipated. Maryland kind of surprised me. I definitely had NC State taking this game, in my opinion, but Maryland played good. Pitt versus UCLA this was kind of the score I kind of expected for them. Just the way those two teams are kind of built. They're kind of built to try to score points, try to kind of spread you out and stuff. So UCLA quarterback Dorian Thompson, like I kind of expected a little more out of him, but it is what it is. The Tennessee Clemson game, I had Tennessee winning this game. Clemson, for all the Clemson fans out there, I know y'all thought that y'all found a quarterback. I was telling everybody, relax, let him play a couple of games. I know the hype was real just because of the last time that happened for Clemson is when they found Trevor Lawrence. He got in the game and blew up, and they were like, yo, Clemson, we're back. But Tennessee kind of, I'm not going to say manhandled, but I played them the way I expected that game to go. I expected to be close in the first half like it was, and I anticipated Tennessee wearing them down eventually, which is what happened. Look at Thursday's game. Florida State was in a lot closer game than I expected. Oklahoma had not looked good in the season, and Florida State was hot. It was real hot, but I didn't expect – I expected them to win this game by at least 20, 21 points. So the fact that it came down to a late-game field goal, Oklahoma kind of impressed me from that standpoint. But Florida State did what they had to do to get the win. I saw like just a tiny bit of Minnesota and Syracuse. Minnesota running back, like him a lot. he was toting the ball. He was consistent. He was tough, dugging out yards. So I could definitely rock with that. I can rock with him. Um, my boys from Texas. I didn't expect too much. We didn't look like we came out like a team that looked like we didn't want to win. The heart and soul of our offense was Bijan, who we all know he was going into the draft. He's the number one running back prospect entering the draft. So I didn't expect Texas to come out and fire off. I think Texas, because of our recruiting class, a lot of people is looking forward to the next year. A lot of the players are like, next year we're going to be able to take control of our conference, especially because that's going to be our last year in that conference. So we roll up to Wednesday, Oregon versus North Carolina. I caught the end of that game. That was a tough fought game. That was a tough fought game. I didn't expect it to be that close, but I've been underestimating North Carolina all season. I definitely I just didn't see it. Like the quarterback from North Carolina, I like him. I think he has one more year left. And I think going into his next year, he'll definitely be one of the higher rated quarterbacks coming out. Like not this season, but coming out in 2023 when he goes into the draft. I think he'll be highly rated. I like his athleticism. I like the way he could throw the deep ball. But I just thought Oregon had so much offensive firepower. Especially when you saw that Bo Nix is going to come back to school again. I thought they would have been kind of energized, but the game ended up being close. So shout out to North Carolina. Texas Tech and Ole Miss, as for y'all who've been following the Power for a while, I know I've been big on Ole Miss throughout the season. They had looked good. I think they got all the way to 8-0 before they lost their first game. But Texas Tech just came out and kind of beat them down. Like the score actually would have looked worse if Ole Miss didn't start getting like big chunk plays towards the end of the game. So I was just like, wow, like Texas Tech did what they did. That's the conversation for some of my boys. I know that y'all that watch this video, some of my boys on the pod who, I'm not gonna bring it up right now because I'm by myself. But it's a conversation to be had when they keep talking about SEC football. It ain't looking extra dominant right now. You got Arkansas versus Kansas. They went into 3 overtimes. That was a nail biter. I didn't get to see the game. I just kind of looked at the stats. I wish I saw that game. But it came on a Wednesday, throughout the week. So it was harder to catch some of the games throughout the week. So we go up. Out of this one, Wisconsin, everybody knows who Wisconsin is at this point. They're a grinded out team. You put them in a grinded out game, you should probably end up picking Wisconsin in just because, that's the kind of team and culture that they have down there. They grind out a lot of victories. Being from Carolina, you got to talk about Coastal and East Carolina. I did not expect it to be a beatdown like how it was. But East Carolina came out firing. Like the score got bad early, and I was like, "Whoa!" I did not expect that at all. Once again, that was another game I couldn't really catch. I was just monitoring the score, because better being at work and all. And y'all let me know in the comments any of these games I'm not touching on that I just didn't see. I obviously saw the score, but I didn't really look into them. Y'all let me know if I'm missing any players, any great games, any great coaching, any great, schemes, plays, anything y'all saw. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Like, hey, man, Rick, man, you ain't brought up this or you ain't brought up that or this a player you need to go check out because I'll definitely go check them out. So this is last Saturday in New Mexico State. I didn't see any of those games. Middle Tennessee is always a surprising team. They always find ways to, make a name for themselves in certain situations. The Wake Forest Mizzou game, I caught a little bit of it. Um, it was a tough fought game. The score was close all the way through, so closer towards the end of the game. So shout out to Wake Forest. I think they had a pretty decent season. So I think they did pretty good. Louisiana played Houston tougher than I expected. I thought Houston would have scored a lot more points than that. But you have to give Louisiana credit. If we keep scrolling, Air Force and Baylor was not a game I watched. I didn't think it would be interesting, but shout out to Air Force for getting the dub. So as we scroll up to the earlier games, Toledo, Marshall and UConn, those games. Couple of big games up here from last week that stuck out to me. Oregon State beat down Florida. And I know Anthony Richardson didn't play. Obviously, he's going to the draft. But I expected Florida to have more grit and grind than that. I expected them to fight. Even though they didn't have their quarterback, I just expected them to fight. I didn't expect a team like Oregon State to come in there and out physical Florida. Florida's defense has been up and down all year, and their defensive line is kind of undersized. But still, I expected a little bit more fight. Same out of Cincinnati. I thought Cincinnati was the better team than Louisville all year. Louisville came and played football, and shout out to the defense because we know teams like Louisville, they can get hard on offense. But defensively, when you look at those games, that's when you say, okay, like I see y'all got a low fight, so that's always good to see. We keep scrolling. Troy, that was a game I kind of just saw the score, but shout out to Troy for doing what they needed to do. Shout out to UAB too, for doing what they do, especially in the recent years, what's all been going on with their football program and everything. Shout out to them for, getting out there, winning the bowl game. Now it's up to Monday, January 2nd. So these are, like I said again, those are all the games that played. That's just my opinions on a couple of games that stuck out to me. I didn't really do much of a player analysis, which is something, if I can get one of the homies probably next week or something, we could probably break down some of the players who had specific great games. I'm just giving just my overall opinions on the games. So I'll go ahead and tell y'all who I got, who are all my picks for the upcoming games. So Mississippi State and Illinois. I think Illinois is a team that plays real gritty and real grindy. I think they might give Mississippi a harder game than people anticipate. But with that being said, I still take Mississippi State probably by 3, at the most by 10. LSU, they've been streaky this year. When they got hot, they got hot. But for the most part, they're just more talented than Purdue. So they should be able to pull out that game as long as their quarterback is playing. I will say this as like a disclaimer. I haven't checked to see. I know the quarterbacks who are going to the draft, but I haven't checked to see which one of them have opted out of playing their bowl games yet. So that's probably something I should look into. So y'all can let me know in the comments if I made the slip up and someone should be playing that I don't know that they're playing, but I'll go off the thought process that they're playing right now. Penn State versus Utah is a great game. That's two very evenly matched teams. I'm definitely going to be tuning into that game. Like, when I say they're evenly matched, they're very evenly matched across the board. That's a pick'em game to me. But at the end of the day, I'm going to roll with Utah. Their offense is explosive, especially when it needs to be. Love their running back. I like the way he kind of shifted. He fit through holes. I like him a lot. So I think Utah. I can see this game actually going into overtime. So I'll take Utah winning in overtime, whether that's a field goal or a touchdown. USC Southern California, they're playing Tulane. USC has a terrible defense. I can see, I can, I can see USC getting up early and then controlling the clock by using Caleb Williams' legs as well. You know, the Heisman winner. Like I said, if he's not playing in this game, um, that's a different story. But he should be because he has one more year of eligibility, so he'll be playing next season. He'll probably be the top ranked quarterback going into the next season. Being he won the Heisman and all, but obviously you got to take USC. I take them probably by 14, maybe 21, but I do see Tulane scoring at least 28 points in this game, probably. Um, we stroll up. We got Iowa versus Kentucky. That's a big physical game. You know, old school. It's gonna be a lot of running the ball, all that. Kentucky runs the ball a lot, even though their quarterback is one of the most highly prospects. He does have all of the NFL tools. If I was to say, he definitely has the tools. He just they just, you know, that's their DNA. They like to run the ball, like to be physical, like to weigh you down. I can see. I don't know. Once again, I don't know if Will Levis is playing in this game, but he's another player who he can make a couple of big plays when it matters down the stretch. And if he can make those big plays when it matters down the stretch, you got to roll with Kentucky. I'll take them by 10. Kind of low scoring game too, though. I'll say maybe, you know what? I'll take them by 7. I'll take them 21-14. Bama and Kansas State. Bryce Young is another one. I think he's probably sitting out this game. So if he is, Bama always has a 5-star coming up behind it. So I don't think it really matters too much. So I think even in that situation, I would have to say you roll with Bama. I think Kansas State might show some fight, make the game a little closer, but I got Bama by 14. And now we're down to the nitty gritty. The TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia. I'm rolling with Georgia. I think Ohio State has the ability to make it again. They're going to start off by, kind of spreading out Georgia. Georgia's going to have to get acclimated to that. And then once they do in the second half of the game, Georgia's going to start to show their dominance in that game. I have the same thing for Michigan. I think TCU might go into halftime even leading that game. But Michigan is well coached by Harbaugh. They know how to stick with the run. And they end up beating you down. They wear you down. And as they wear you down, then when your offense starts to make one or too many mistakes, that's when they say, yo, we see the mistakes. Time for us to get after it. So that's just, the whole bowl game rundown. Y'all let me know y'all future picks, who y'all got, in the college football playoff. We're going to see who wins the game before we make our final predictions, even though I kind of made my final predictions already, in a previous pod. But, I just want to talk about it. I want to hopefully we can get all the homies on here where we can talk about it all at once so we can have a little in-depth conversation. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. I don't know if we're going to do this as far as I can go ahead and stop sharing. I don't know if we're going to do this as far as for our NFL edition or our college edition, but we do plan on doing some mock drafts where what we're going to try to do is all get on here and just let the mock draft play out the little simulator, and then we'll draft for our specific teams, and then we can just, once we're finished, we can talk about how the draft went, how the players went. So we might do it for a college edition, for NFL, not sure yet. That kind of falls in the middle. We'll definitely be on here to talk about the national championship. We'll be talking about the recruiting classes because that's about finishing up. So and then the transfer portal is hot right now. So we can look in the next season to see who's going to be able to do what based on recruits, based on who's coming in from high school. Who's coming in to do the transfer portal? Are any coaches moving in the offseason? So we'll be able to talk about that. Y'all let me know if I missed anything. I just wanted to, touch on the bowl games because it is bowl game season right now. You know, the bowl games are hot. We had some pretty really good games. You know, so I'm looking forward to watching some college football today, man. You know, like I said, man, I hope everybody enjoy the holidays. You know, spend some time with your family. You know, with your loved ones. You know, do what you do. Get your New Year's resolution. I got one New Year's resolution for all you. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, man. Go ahead, like, comment. This should be your New Year's res. That's the one to go on your list for the new year. I want to be subscribed to going for the gusto. I want to hit that notification bell so I'm always up to date whenever something is dropping. And once again, man, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything, man. And y'all have a good one. I'm out.